good morning, folks. It is Tuesday, February 11th. Been a little bit since I filmed last. Been kind of busy. Had some corn contracts to fill. Now we got some bean contracts we're working on. In the meantime, been priming and painting the frame for the Polar. Also disassembling the motor so I can get that thing primed and painted. I guess probably one of the next stages on that thing is to go ahead and set the cab back on. And once the cab's back on, I probably better wait for my suspension components to come in, which sounds like they could potentially be here end of this week or beginning of next week. And we'll get them put on the front end, and then we can set the motor in. Ordered a clutch. Clutch is going to be quite a while, I guess. Sounds like 6 to 8 weeks. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Still got plenty of work to do, so we're going to go ahead and put the motor in. We're going to start plumbing all of our fuel and our air. We got lots of stuff to do. Safety equipment, drive shafts, steering. The list goes on and on. But in the meantime, got some contracts to fill here, so Dad and I are going to work on hauling some soybeans today. And if there's any time left at the end of the day here, I might go ahead and pressure wash the cab, which is not going to be fun because it's about 30 degrees, but got to get that cleaned up so I can get it put back on. And all of our snow is left. We actually had some freezing rain. Had 2 spells of that, actually. It's been kind of like walking on a glacier around here. It hasn't been ideal, but it's February in Ohio. You kind of got that roller coaster effect of weather. So I'm going to quit yapping here, get this load loaded, run it in there, and get it unloaded. It'll probably be about time for lunch by then. Dad just took his first load in. And yeah, hauling beans today. Well, that's not a good sign. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're stuck. Well, the helpless 2-wheel drive junk turd is out of the hole. Not gonna say much about it because nobody wants to hear my generalized opinions of what I think about Ford. Let that be a lesson to you kids if you paid attention. Don't buy something that the manufacturer circles the problem, okay? Okay. That's all we're gonna say. Well, it would actually be a couple days later. Camera died on me loading beans the other day, and didn't have my truck on me, didn't have my keys on me, didn't have nothing on me. So I couldn't change batteries. Actually, my wife had my rig, which had the batteries in it. So, you know, can't do nothing about that. So anyways, since then, well, prior to and also since then, this has been moved over to the South Bay. It is finished painted. Drop box is back in. We have been disassembling the motor because I really can't emphasize enough how much I dislike lime green. Yes, I have a lime green OSTPA hat. Okay? I know. We're not going to get started on that hat. Fine. Engine block. No. So we are making that ugly mess disappear. You know the Mucinex commercials with the booger running around? That's Muci right there. And Muci ain't cool, so we're going to make him cool. Okay? Sounds like a plan. So, anyways, went ahead and took all the bling off of it. Sitting over there. Not that it's really very blingy because it's been kind of neglected, so we are going to, re-bling it. But anywho's, got this thing disassembled to the point of paint. Actually just had a hay customer leave, so that's what that dinging was they were here. So anywho's, had all this stuff masked off, the valve cover, the oiling side there. Went ahead and masked off where the intake plenum goes, along with the tappet cover. We're gonna plug them holes for the timing case there here shortly. But I would very much love to get a can of primer on this thing this evening. But truth be told, I'm tired. This is Thursday. You know, I started filming this sometime 2-ish weeks ago. And since then, a lot has transpired, and I've been very busy. And as of today, I've been all over God's creation, doing anything you can think of. And yeah, I'm just kind of tired. And the wife's already calling, wondering where I'm at. So that is my cue to go home and get me some grub. So I guess we're going to leave everything in here that is not finished, and we're going to go home and we're going to get something to eat. And in the morning, we're probably going to haul beans, depending on if it snows a bunch. I guess you'll know in a matter of, a second. Alrighty, well, first thing this morning, had some hay customers to load out, had some grain to haul. Camera's fighting me on that again today. Says it has 0% battery, and we are currently at 67, so GoPros, I tell you, they're a joy. So anyways, I got a few minutes for lunch here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a coat of primer on here. Don't mind my overspray from a Valentine's Day box I made for my daughter for school. It was a, what did we do? We did a mermaid, that's right. So got a little bit of pink and purple and blue in here, but we're gonna go ahead and spritz a coat of primer on here. Got some rags shoved in the ports for the exhaust. Got everything kind of taped off best I can. Got some bags shoved in there for the timing case because I don't want any overspray going in there. Not that it would really freaking matter because this is all getting torn apart and cleaned anyways. But anyways, so alrighty, we are gonna spray some paint on here and see if we can make the Mucinex commercial booger disappear. So that's what we're gonna do. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've officially got 2 coats of color on this thing, so we will probably leave the rest of this alone for the remainder of the day. Still a fair amount of today left, so we will probably spend the rest of today trying our hand at sanding and polishing stainless steel. I highly doubt we'll actually get to the polishing stage, probably just get partway through the sanding stage. So I've never polished or sanded stainless steel before. Watched enough on it, learned enough, I think, from seeing how people have done it. I'm not going to say I'm going to be a professional at it, but it's going to be better than raw stainless the way it sits right now. So we're probably going to spend the rest of the day doing that, but this video has been probably plenty long enough and plenty chopped up enough across multitudes of days, weeks, actually, probably, I don't know. So we're probably going to end this one out here, and going to probably spend the rest of today sanding and trying to polish something and making something look nice. So I appreciate you guys sticking through this one. I hope you stuck through this one. I know it's been a bit rough, but life on a farm is a bit kind of sporadic this time of year. You never know quite what you're going to get into, whether it be hauling grain, feeding, bedding, scraping, you name it, shop work. It's just kind of everywhere. Loading hay customers. It's that time of year where you just got a bunch of odd job stuff you're doing, and yeah, plenty of it because it gets put off throughout the growing season. So we are going to probably end this one out here and spend the rest of the day sanding. So I appreciate you guys for watching this one. God bless, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Well, it's not perfect, but I'd say for the first time polishing stainless steel, it turned out pretty decent. Only thing I would change is I went up to 800 grit. I would probably recommend going up to like 1500 grit and actually having the appropriate cutting buff. I did not, so, or polish. We didn't quite have the correct stuff for that. So yeah, I'd say pretty banger results for the equipment we were dealt with. Hey, today's TED Talk tip is don't put your piece that you're painting directly in the path that you're walking around a motor, because turns out you'll walk right over top of the parts you just painted. And then you'll have to scuff it and try to hide your sins by burying it in paint. So don't do that, okay? That's not advised, all right? Don't do that.